Salutations, crustaceans! I'm Lobster, and this is a Markbass Gloxy 4-string bass. A very interesting instrument from Markbass. I've never been a fan of their amps personally, but this bass is very intriguing, and I will tell you why. These things are always on sale at Guitar Center and Musician's Friend, and I was able to snag this one for $450. And what does that $450 get you? A very interesting bass package here. We have a basswood body that is painted in black, but I believe there's other finishes available. We have a P-bass shape, however we have jazz bass pickups here. And this bass allows you to post silly talk bass threads about combining P-bass and J-bass parts. But in all reality, we do have a great electronic setup here. With a volume tone config up top, this is a regular jazz bass setup, and the tone control is a push-pull, allowing you to engage or bypass our 3-band preamp here, with a treble control, a mid control, and a bass control. We have a standard Fender-style bridge right here. It does the job well, and I have no issues with it, though it is on the cheaper side. You can definitely upgrade it because it has a standard Fender screw pattern here. And around back, we have a 9-volt battery compartment and a decently sized, like medium-sized control cavity here, and a side jack. The neck attachment is a 4-screw Fender-style neck attachment with a squared-off heel that is not contoured, so just regular style heel here. So just regular style heel here. Regular style heel here. For the neck, this has some interesting specs here. The nut width is a 36mm nut width, so it's even narrower than your standard jazz bass profile, and that means it is a very skinny neck. And this is a gloss neck all around with a white binding and some cream blocks, vintage cream style blocks that look great here on this 34-inch scale neck. We have, 20 frets? Yeah, 20 frets here. And it looks to be, I want to say, like a 9.5-inch radius here. It's not like a super vintage radius, but it looks like a standard, Mexican Fender radius. What else do we have here on the neck? We have a standard 4-in-line headstock here with a cool headstock paint job over here on the bottom with the Markbass logo. And then on the back of the headstock, we can see that this bass is assembled in China. And in regards to the craftsmanship, this is a really nice playing instrument, honestly, surprisingly so. You see these all the time, and one would think that because of, I guess, the weird styling that no one would ever buy these because they don't play well or something like that. No, these play really, really nicely, and especially if you're looking for a jazz bass kind of bass, you should definitely consider some of these. And how much does our Markbass Gloxy 4-string bass weigh? Because it has a basswood body that's relatively lightweight, this is coming in at around 8.5 pounds. And in regards to balance, it's decently balanced on a strap. However, in the lap, because it's a light body and I would say heavier neck with a, thicker gloss finish and these heavier tuning pegs, you're going to get a little bit of neck dive, but it's not anything that really hinders the playing experience. And how much does the Markbass Gloxy cost? Well, that depends. These are always on sale at like Guitar Center and Musician's Friend. If you can catch it on sale, they're as low as like $450 or so. I believe I snagged this for around $450. But brand new, these are around, I think, $650 or $700 for the 4-string, and then like add $100 or $200 for the additional string for the 5er. One nice thing about this bass though is it comes with a really nice case, which is not usually the case for most brands at this particular price point. So kudos to Markbass for including that. Let's play this bass a little bit and hear how it sounds. So we have both pickups engaged right now and the preamp centered. That gives us a basic jazz bass, 70s jazz bass tone here. Yeah, and when you slap it, it sounds like a jazz bass being slapped. And yeah, what that sounds like. And yeah, so that is the gist of what we have here, is basically a jazz bass on steroids that is geared more towards a player's comfort versus necessarily style. Very plain here, and it's a P-bass shape, jazz bass pickups. It's meant to be comfortable, meant to be balanced, and I mean, it pretty much is. It's definitely a great sounding bass, and this tone control definitely does work quite well. So let's turn the tone down all the way, hear what that sounds like. And here's the tone at about halfway. Oh yeah, this is a fun bass. This is definitely a really fun bass to play. Very responsive. Let's check out this preamp a little bit. Let's turn the tone back up all the way, and let's boost our treble all the way. Hear what that sounds like. A little bright slapped, but with fingerstyle, it's not overwhelming with the treble, so I think that this preamp is very well tuned. Let's turn that back down to center, and here's the mid control boosted. Let's turn that back down, and here's the bass boosted. Let's boost that about halfway. Very nice. Let's solo these pickups a little bit. I'm going to center our preamp so everything is all centered up. And let's go ahead and solo our neck pickup first. These are single coil pickups, so if you have a really noisy environment with like lights and stuff, you may get a little bit of noise. Ever since I moved back up here and switched things around, it's been a bit quieter, so I can't be like, oh, noise! But, you know, you can get it, maybe. Be wary. This is a nice sounding single coil neck pickup though. These are good sounding pickups. So it can definitely do the thumpy thing really nice, even without touching the preamp. But let's boost our treble a little bit and get a little picky here. Yeah, this is good. And let's turn that treble control back down to center. Yeah, I really enjoy this bass. It's a fun one. Let's take our tone control down all the way and see what happens. Great sounding bass here. Let's solo our bridge pickup now. Here's what it sounds like with the preamp centered. And let's take that tone control all the way down just for fun. And let's go ahead and put back both pickups. I did picking, I did slapping. Now we'll do a fun little jam, and then we'll talk about the bass a little bit more before we end the video. So let's do that. So here are my final thoughts on the Markbass Gloxy 4-string bass. These are very nice basses, and from my experience have been pretty consistent at the guitar centers and musicians' friends, well, just the guitar centers that I've visited in my travels. When I want to pick up a bass, I usually see these, and I pick them up and they're usually pretty well set up, and I mean, I usually set up my own instruments anyway, so I don't pay too much mind to that. But yeah, these are very nice instruments. They play really well. I like the neck profile with the extra skinny nut width here. Makes this very easy and slick to navigate. Yeah, just a very well-built, like, solid bass. The only other bass that I've seen that has this similar preamp setup is like the F bass, which is like a multi-$1,000 instrument that has the same volume tone and the 3-band. So seeing a similar setup on a cheaper instrument like this is pretty cool. And the fact that all these controls are just very functional, they feel very good, they feel easy to adjust. You have the pretty, evident center detents of the EQ knobs here, and the volume tone knobs work very well. The 70s pickup setup sounds really nice, though I do think that the bridge pickup is a little on the thin side. Maybe raising that, like, that's something I could do in a setup, might help a little bit, but yeah, the neck pickup sounds really nice, and both pickups together sounds really nice as well. So overall, I think that this is a great instrument. It has a lot of flexibility in the tone department while still maintaining its functionality. The preamp is well tuned where it's not heavy-handed. The tone control works great and the preamp is bypassable. These pickups sound pretty good. The balance is really solid and the neck profile is nice. The fretwork is really good. Not much to complain about here. So good job, Markbass. I think you guys have a really nice bass here. But those are my thoughts of the Markbass Gloxy 4. Let me know what you think about this bass down in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching, and until we groove again.